From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening, Alaska State Troopers continue the investigation of a shooting that occurred at a home south of Fairbanks during the weekend. Troopers say a 25-year-old man reported early Sunday morning that two men he was acquainted with entered his home uninvited at Lakeview Terrace Trailer Park and assaulted him. He told investigators that he shot at the men. Now, troopers say a short time later, a 32-year-old man showed up at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital for treatment of gunshot wounds. Trooper spokeswoman Megan Peters says the man who fired the gun was the only other person at the home. She said officers are attempting to verify what happened.
Certainly we are following up on this to see what actually transpired during the incident. We're trying to verify the validity of statements that have been told to us, and the investigation continues.
Several hundred soldiers from Fort Wainwright had a chance to say a final goodbye to their friends and families before prepping for deployment to South Korea. Reporter Ryan Grimes has the story.
Soldiers from the 617th Cavalry Regiment formed up earlier this morning to say their last goodbyes to their families before they took flight to South Korea. The regiment was chosen to go to South Korea to assist and participate in training exercises with foreign allies. For some soldiers, it's their first time deploying outside of the United States.
This is not a combat deployment like what other people went on. It's more of a TDY or a training rotation. It is still scary though. I mean, North Korea is right there, so I mean, there's a possibility of anything could happen. But I think that's why everybody joins and why everybody wants to wear the uniform. So.
Well, I mean, I've never been outside of the United States. Really, it's going to be a new experience. Get to experience new cultures, do something for the Army, go out there and accomplish the mission that they want us to. Staff
Sergeant Michael Durbin has been on 3 other deployments before. However, this time is different. He recently married his wife and is also raising children.
This is the first time I've had to leave, my wife and kids behind. I was a single soldier my other 3 deployments, so it was a little bit different. But now it's even though it's only 9 months, which is a lot shorter than what I've done before, it's still really kind of tears at your heart.
I don't think it's a matter of if he and when he's going to go to deployment. I think it's just you're married and he's your spouse. You can just support him. And I know a lot of soldiers need that support, even if they're not married. So whether or not he's going to deploy or if he never deploys, it's something that we all have to face. Someone's going to leave eventually.
Very nervous, scary, but I have my moments.
This is Ron Grimes reporting from Fort Wainwright.
An eroding river is threatening several homes in the interior Alaska village of Huslia. The Koyukuk River, riverbank has shifted 70 feet in the last several days, coming within 5 feet of one resident's home. Edwin Byfelt with the Huslia Tribal Council says residents tore down one unoccupied home to save its parts for reuse. Now, the Athabascan village of 320 is located about 250 miles west of Fairbanks. The National Weather Service said riverbank erosion is not unusual for Huslia, but the extent of this year's is abnormal. Recent heavy rainfall in the region combined with snowmelt to swell the river's flow. Now, state emergency managers say they are standing by for any requests for assistance. The Relay for Life walk to raise awareness about cancer started at 6 p.m. Friday and wrapped up 24 hours later on the University of Alaska Fairbanks campus. There were 58 teams walking in the 24-hour event, and over 600 people had signed up to donate online. The goal this year was $250,000. Organizers say events like Relay for Life are very important, both to raise money for research and for cancer awareness.
Government is the leading donor for research, for grants. The American Cancer Society is the next. So if you had a stack of paper, the government would maybe grant an inch, and then the rest of these are unfunded. So if we don't earn money to give grants to medical researchers, the cure for cancer might be in the other half of the stack of paper.
And when we come back, the Stone Soup Cafe gets ready for its Riverboat fundraiser. Also celebrating a downtown business that's been operating for 75 years. Those stories are next. Stay with us. And welcome back. The Stone Soup Cafe Riverboat Discovery Excursion is set for Sunday. Boarding starts at 6:30 with sailing scheduled for 7. A large part of the operating money the cafe receives is from the Riverboat fundraiser. The Stone Soup Cafe has been operating for about 28 years, and its mission is to feed the hungry and enrich lives. The cafe serves people who are hungry Monday through Friday without question, with respect and with dignity. Most of those helping feeding the hungry at the Stone Soup Cafe are volunteers, and donations from numerous businesses will add to the menu.
People are going to be boarding at 6:30, and the boat is going to take off at 7, and we'll be back at 9, and we'll go down to the marriage of the river. There'll be Kentucky Tundras playing the music on board, bluegrass, so that'll be great. We'll have the auction, and it's just a time to come together with your family.
Special discounts will be afforded to families of soldiers who have been deployed. For ticket information, you can call 452-1974. Due to a court ruling, the state is going to have to translate election materials into native languages for voters who don't speak English. U.S. District Judge Sharon Gleason said it's required by the Constitution. A trial is planned later this month on a voters' rights lawsuit filed by several native villages. The plaintiffs in the case claim the state is violating provision of the Federal Voting Rights Act. The state claims its native languages program meets the federal requirements. The Borough Parks and Rec Department is opening a new public area which they say will be a great addition to Fairbanks. Tyson Paris-Hansen has more.
The Tanana Lakes recreation area has been in development for years, and the borough will open its gates this Friday. The project manager says this spot can start to earn a better reputation.
You know, it's been neglected for a lot of years, and it's kind of an eyesore. But as you look around, it's a gorgeous place, and it's 2 miles from downtown.
Tanana Lakes is free to the public and now offers a sandy beach and safe swimming area, charcoal grills, and a boat launch with a dock in the middle.
So you can launch your boat in the lake and then head out into the Tanana River.
Many residents have been instrumental helping the borough clean up the area.
There's been a lot of volunteer support and help to help develop this park, probably thousands of hours of volunteer assistance down here in various projects.
Tanana Lakes Rec area is located at the end of South Cushman, and to celebrate the grand opening, the borough will host a party from 5 to 8 p.m. on Friday.
We'll have the barbecue running, we'll be handing out hot dogs, and just trying to get people to come down here and check the place out and see what it has to offer.
After Friday, the lakes will be open from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m. This is Tyson Paris-Hansen reporting from the Tanana Lakes recreation area.
Alaska military officials are warning the public that if they see a weathered metal object that looks like a bullet or a bomb outdoors, they should leave it alone and call authorities. Officials say such objects could be live explosives. Officials have found heavy World War II artillery used as doorstops or displayed on mantles or stored in attics. The 7/16th Explosive Ordnance Disposal Company at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson has responded to at least 18 calls since October. First Sergeant Marshall Pratt with the Ordnance Company says it's hard to differentiate explosives from ordinary litter. Well, there was a party going on Friday evening in downtown Fairbanks to celebrate a milestone for a local business. Ken Murray Insurance on Barnett Street is marking its 75th year in business. It was started in 1939 by Kenneth A. Murray, the father of the current owner. The current Ken Murray was born the year the business was started. When his father died in 1997 at the age of 91, the son kept the business going. The agency has had 3 different downtown locations over the years, and in addition to insurance, at one point had an undertaker and sold real estate. Murray said he hadn't paid much attention to the time that has passed.
I never entered my head. I just looked up and people drew in the office attention to the fact that this was the 75th year back in about February, March, and they wanted to do something, and I said, well, I don't know, what to do. I've just been doing this. But they wanted to do something special, so I said, well, fine, I'll play along.
All right, Joe Cook joins me now, and I know there's NBA finals going on right now, but we're going to be talking about some college hoops action up on the Hill.
Most definitely. A key position has been filled for one position with one of the UAF basketball teams. A new coach joins the women's basketball program. More on that after the break. Plus, a local cyclist wins another tour of Fairbanks title. Stay tuned. Sports is next. Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the Sports Seat for you this evening, bringing you another weekend recap. A recently retired coach had the itch to come back to basketball, and the Nanick scratched. Today, the UAF women's basketball team announced the hiring of their new assistant coach. Greg Bruce will be next to head coach Cody Bench this fall. Bruce has over 3 decades of college coaching experience. He retired after the 2012-2013 season from Western Oregon of the GNAC. He built them into a respectable program, leading them to back-to-back double-digit winning seasons in 2009 through 2011. He's also the winningest coach in Portland State history with 349 wins in 22 seasons, earning 6 conference titles. PSU was a NCAA Division I independent program when he started, and he led the Vikings to 5 NCAA tournament appearances in the 90s. Then they joined Division II Pac West Conference. The UAF women's team returns all 5 starters from a year ago after a 9-17 season and bringing a 5-player recruiting class. The season starts November 14th with the GNAC Pac West Challenge. After the times were calculated from the 5 stages of this year's Tour of Fairbanks, a local cyclist repeats as champion. You guessed it, Tyson Flaherty of Gulfstream Sports won back-to-back Tour of Fairbanks Men's Open Expert titles after finishing 3rd in Sunday's Workisham Dome race. His overall time was 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 49.7 seconds. He won stages 1, 2, and 3 in the final stage. UAF skier Logan Hahnemann was runner-up with a total time of 7:21:09.7 for Raven Racing. Ro Ross, who won Sunday's stage in just over 3 hours, placed 3rd overall with 7:22:30.9. Elizabeth Thurston Hicks, riding for the Colorado Law bike team, won the female open expert title with a total time of 7:02:25.3. She won the Steese Road Race Sunday stage and was 2nd in the first 3 stages. Kathy Weig was 2nd in 7:22:49, and Erica Petz was 3rd. Max Qualley of Raven Racing won Sunday's race and the Masters title in 6 hours, 56 minutes, 3.5 seconds. Here's Flaherty and Will Ross after Sunday's Workisham Dome race.
You really see what everyone's got. You can't really fake it. You can't you got to be able to ride. So it's fun, fast downhills, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Tyson is amazing. There's kind of the saying, oh, he's pretty good for an Alaska racer. Tyson's a good racer all around. He's pro caliber. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And yeah, all the Fairbanks guys, they're all strong, they're all fit. A lot of good all around riders.
And yesterday at Lulu's Bread and Bagels was the 7th annual Run Lulu Run. Almost 100 runners and walkers came out to support a good cause. Proceeds for the race went to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society team in training. The participants made their way up and around and down the trails of the 5K and 10K, which featured some flats and some inclines and some lightly wooded areas. First person to cross the finish line, though, in the 5K, out of the 34 runners in the 5K, was Bill Hinckley out of Denver. He travels all over as a pilot for Frontier Airlines. The last time he was in Fairbanks was in 1986, running in the state track and field meet for Diamond High School. Hinckley's time was 22 minutes and 7 seconds. David Leonard was 2 minutes behind at 24:08, and Tony Peter was 3rd in 30 minutes and 25 seconds. Heidi Billing was the first woman to complete the 5K in 33:13. She was 6th overall. 55 runners ran the longer race, and Nick Jansen won the 10K in 41 minutes 35 seconds. Dog musher Jesse Holmes was 2nd at 43:01, and Colin Campbell was 3rd at 43:48. Melissa Lewis was 5th overall and the first woman to finish in 45:49. Both top finishers had successes in their first races of the season. And Jansen, he just came down from mountain climbing in Denali.
We summited on Wednesday when the weather broke. So I haven't been running for about a month, but I've been breathing really heavy and sucking in thin air, so coming back down to near sea level has felt like an advantage.
I run 5Ks over the summer, and my work takes me all over the country, so sometimes when I have an overnight stay in a place like this, I'll look for a road race and jump in and run it. It was fun, good weather, good group of runners, so it was fun. Glad I was able to do it.
And this past weekend, the GFRA had their second week of racing at the Mitchell Raceway. On Friday night, Scott Sluka continued his dominance in the modified class with a trio of wins winning the heats and mains. Jay Coghill, he won the sprint main event. Keith Spencer was the Mini Bomber main event winner. John Clarkson, he keeps his points lead in the sportsman class. But the race of the night was in the dollar stock class, as Dave Summers in the 42 was literally running on fumes, but held off Dan Holtry in the 11 car for the main event checker flag in a highly contested race. You just run on fumes there. I don't even know how you did that. But then the Gladiators class, they stole the show at the end. Definitely a fan-favorite event. You have to bump to pass, and there was more than that going on. The winner was Tyler Smith in 25, wreaking havoc on the track, all doing that with a blown-out tire. Pretty amazing stuff sometimes. And that's a wrap for sports. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, welcome back to Fairbanks Evening News, everyone. Mike Schultz with you once again, taking a look at the weather. It was a beautiful weekend, except for a few rumbles of thunder yesterday and some areas of rain and hail probably to the east of the Fairbanks area. But for the most part, nice weather. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Our photograph for tonight, Eva Villanueva capturing a bald eagle in the Prince Wales area. Boy, that is just majestic. You see why it's our national bird. And again, as always, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to photos at ktvf11.com, and we'll share it with the rest of the audience. Here's what it's like at the airport. 66 our high right now, but 68 was the high for the day. The low last night, 49. Record high, 87 in 1957, 31 in 1919. Sunrise and sunset, about 21 hours and 22 minutes of daylight, a gain of 4 minutes from yesterday. On our latest radar, as you zoom in around the Fairbanks area, you can see some scattered showers trying to work their way toward the Fairbanks area, but as the daytime heating kind of diminishes, it lessens the opportunity for the showers to happening. The big picture looks like this. Again, lots of activity, mainly shower activity down south of the Alaska Range, and the flow is just kind of moving around in all different directions, so no real organized activity there. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, we have, again, some showers over southeast Alaska, a little shower activity around the Anchorage Bowl, also showers around Bethel, and then cloudy skies up the west coast all the way to the north slope with just sunshine around Fort Yukon and 68 degrees. Lower 48 weather, more storminess moving across the deep south, all in association with this area of low pressure. That's bringing some pretty healthy rainfall to most of those areas. And the hot temperatures continue out to the west, all the way from Northern California right on down through Southern California and the Southwest. Many areas reporting over 100-degree temperature readings. Later on this week, a little cooler air moving in across the Pacific Northwest, more storms over the deep south, and showers over the northeast. The rest of the country looking pretty good. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. The northern sections, here's what it looks like. Clouds and fog for Barrow, isolated showers for Nome, and some isolated thunderstorms in the Fort Yukon area. Here in the interior, looking at mainly isolated showers at Fairbanks and Healy, just cloudy skies for Delta Junction. Over southeast Alaska, more rain showers across much of the area there, down over Juneau and Ketchikan. Well, out to the southwest, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies for Cold Bay, partly sunny skies for Kodiak, and showers expected around Bethel. And if you're heading on down the Anchorage Bowl, mainly showery conditions expected there with a high of 55 degrees in Anchorage. So here's our forecast for the remainder of the night. Looking at cloudy skies, isolated showers possible, 51 degrees the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, not quite as warm as we were hoping for. We'll have cloudy skies to continue, isolated showers, and 66 for the reading. But temperatures will slowly warm up. As you see here, looking at 70 degrees for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with, again, off and on showers right on through the picture. Overnight lows right around 50 degrees, the typical weather you would expect this time of year. And, Daryl, we did have actually our first, I think, really good opportunity for thunderstorm activity yesterday.
Yeah, I was actually inside, but I had heard from some accounts that there were some, like you said, isolated.
It was black. That sky was black.
Yeah,
really
pretty
bad.
threatening out there.
Yeah.
But, Sunday was really
Winds
good,
blowing
though.
pretty good, too.
Yeah, gusting from time to time.
Exactly.
Well, you know, spring sprung, and we always use that, but summer just doesn't seem to be summering
Not yet,
right now.
Not yet. No,
Yeah.
give it a time.
Give it a little bit more
We
time.
were spoiled from the 18 days of 80-plus temperatures last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think, hopefully that won't happen again.
Yeah, exactly. All right, thank you, Mike, and that'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, you can see Brian Williams, and he's coming up next.
And remember to join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
All right, from all of us here at the News Center, we hope to see you back at 11. Have a great night.
Good night.